Have you ever stood up and felt your legs hesitate beneath you? Not from pain, but from something softer, a kind of quiet uncertainty. You used to move without thinking, walk without planning, climb stairs without needing to hold the railing, but now even small things feel different, slower, less steady, like your body is asking, can we still do this? If that's you, you're not broken, you're not weak, you're just here at a new chapter, and we're here with you. This isn't a video about aging with fear. This is about aging with awareness, not pushing, not pretending to be 30 again, but learning how to move, breathe, and live in a body that's still very much yours. You won't find quick fixes here, no miracle cures, no do this and you'll never age. But what you will find is a gentle journey back to strength, one quiet habit at a time, one small belief at a time, one breath at a time. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk beside you through 9 simple but powerful shifts that may change the way you move, rest, and speak to yourself in ways that might surprise you. And if that's a journey you'd like to keep walking, we invite you to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom, not for more content, but for more connection with yourself and with others like you. Because it's not about looking younger, it's about feeling present in the life you still have. And it starts right now. Part 1. Movement, the first step back to freedom. Lisa didn't think she had stopped moving. She still walked to the kitchen, still folded laundry, still wandered down the driveway to check the mail. But one day she tried to stand up from a chair and her legs hesitated. Not because of pain, but because something in her body had forgotten how. That's when she realized she hadn't stopped moving altogether. She had just stopped moving with intention. And slowly, almost without noticing, her strength had slipped away. Dear friend, if this feels familiar, please know you haven't failed. You've simply adapted to a world that doesn't ask much of your body anymore. But here's the truth we often forget. Your body is built to move, and it will respond to whatever you give it, even now. Lisa began small. She didn't join a gym. She didn't follow a strict routine. She just decided to move with presence. She stood up every hour, even for just a minute. She walked in place while brushing her teeth. She stretched her arms before getting out of bed. At first, it felt silly. But within days, her body started to remember. Her knees creaked less. Her balance felt steadier. Her confidence returned, not because her body changed overnight, but because she began showing up for it again. And the science is clear. Movement improves circulation, strengthens bones, supports joints, and boosts energy. Even small, mindful movements, repeated consistently, can reverse years of decline. So we invite you, gently, to begin. You don't need to push. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to start where you are with what you have. Try standing up slowly from your chair without using your hands. Try lifting one leg while holding onto the sink. Try dancing to your favorite song in the kitchen. And if your legs shake a little, that's okay. That's just your body waking up. If this speaks to you, type the word 1 in the comments, not because you've arrived, but because you're still here. And that matters. Now, if you're wondering why you still feel tired, even after resting all day, we're about to look at what fatigue after 60 really means and how to shift it. We'll see you in part 2. Part 2. You're not tired because you're old. Your body is just asking for something new. Dear friend, have you ever woken up after a full night's sleep, but still felt like you hadn't really rested? Maybe by the afternoon, your energy is already gone, even if you haven't done anything stressful. And you tell yourself, well, maybe that's just what happens at my age. But what if that's not true? What if your tiredness isn't your age, but your body's quiet way of saying, please help me in a gentler way? Let's go back to Lisa. She's 72. She used to feel exhausted every afternoon, no matter what she did. Even after a nap, she still felt foggy, slow, and heavy. One day, her doctor asked her 3 simple questions.
Are you drinking enough water? Are you sleeping at the same time every night? Do you stand up or move during the day?
It turned out the real problem wasn't aging. It was the little things Barbara had stopped doing. The first one, drinking water the right way. Barbara thought she was drinking enough, but she usually drank a whole glass all at once, in a rush. Her doctor explained,
That's like dumping a big bucket of water on a dry plant. It runs off before the soil can absorb it.
Instead, he told her,
Take small sips throughout the day. Just 2 or 3 sips at a time. That's what your body can actually use.
So Lisa started placing water bottles around her home. Whenever she walked by, she'd stop for a few small sips. No rush, no pressure. After just a few days, she started feeling clearer in her mind. Her muscles didn't feel as stiff. And by the end of the week, she no longer hit that afternoon crash. Then she made 2 more small changes. She turned off the TV an hour before bed, and every 30 minutes, she stood up and stretched, even if just for a minute. And guess what? 2 weeks later, she felt more awake, more steady, and more like herself than she had in years. Dear friend, you're not tired because of your age. You're tired because your body is waiting for you to listen. And when you do, it responds with strength, clarity, and calm. So here's a small challenge for you. Take smaller sips of water throughout the day. Move a little more, even if it's just stretching your arms. Let your nights be quiet and gentle. And if you're curious about how to drink water the right way, how to flush toxins, when to drink for better digestion, or even simple ways to recharge with water, just comment the number 2 below. If we see lots of ones, we'll create a full video showing exactly how to do it, step by step. Now, you might be wondering, Lisa's body changed, but what truly turned things around wasn't just her habits, it was how she thought about aging. And that is where we'll go next. Would you like me to write part 3 in this style? Part 3. What you say to yourself becomes the way you age. Sometimes we don't even notice it. The quiet thoughts that pass through our minds each day, the little whispers we say to ourselves when no one else is around. But those words, they shape how we move, how we breathe, how we age. Lisa used to say things like,
I'm too old to try again. This is just how life is now. My body isn't what it used to be.
and on the surface those thoughts sounded harmless, even honest. But over time, they became her reality. She moved less, laughed less, felt smaller inside her own skin. Not because her body gave up on her, but because she had quietly given up on her body. One day, she asked herself a better question.
What if I'm not too old? What if I've just been believing things that stopped being true long ago?
That shift in perspective changed everything. You see, we often say what we want.
I want to feel better. I want to walk more easily again. But then we quietly add, but that probably won't happen at this age.
We speak our hopes and then cancel them with doubt. But here's the truth. Your body can only go where your mind allows it to believe. If your words are full of fear, your steps will feel heavier. But if your thoughts begin to open, even just a little, your body will start to follow. So what did Lisa do? She stopped asking questions like,
Why am I so stiff? Why do I feel so old?
and instead she asked,
What small thing can I do today to feel stronger? How can we grow older with joy, not just survive the years?
these are what we call constructive questions, belief-building questions. And when you change your questions, you change your story. Lisa began to move differently, not just because her body changed, but because the old beliefs no longer held her back. So here's a simple phrase we'd love you to try tomorrow morning. Today, I don't need to be perfect. I just want to feel a little more alive than yesterday. Say it out loud. Say it like you mean it. Say it because your body is listening. And if this spoke to something deep in you, type the word "still" in the comments. Not to prove anything, but to remind yourself that you are still here, still growing, still becoming. And now, we're about to explore something you may have never questioned, something you might be doing right now. It feels relaxing, even safe. But what if it's quietly stealing your strength, 1 hour at a time? Let's talk about sitting and how this simple habit may be the biggest threat to your independence. We'll see you in Part 4. Part 4. Sitting, the quiet thief of strength. You're probably doing it right now, sitting, and on the surface it feels harmless, comfortable, normal. But here's what most people don't realize. Sitting too much, especially after the age of 60, is quietly stealing your strength. Barbara didn't think much of it at first. She told herself, I still walk to the kitchen. I get up a few times a day. I'm not just lying in bed, I'm doing fine. But when she started paying attention, she realized she was spending almost 9 hours each day in a chair. Meals, TV, reading, resting, all in the same position. And the longer she sat, the more her muscles forgot what they were built for. You see, the body is like a well-trained dog. If you stop giving it signals, it stops responding. When you sit too long, blood flow slows, muscles tighten, balance weakens, joints stiffen, and most importantly, your brain starts registering stillness as the new normal. That's when the danger begins. You stand up quickly and feel lightheaded. You walk across the room and your legs feel unsteady. You reach for something high and lose your balance. It doesn't happen all at once. But one day, you might find yourself asking, why do I feel so shaky just getting up? That's what happened to Barbara. It wasn't age, it was stillness. So what did she do? She didn't sign up for a gym. She didn't start intense workouts. She started with one rule: stand up every hour, no exceptions, even if just for a minute, even if just to stretch, even if just to walk around the house once. She also added a few small habits that made a huge difference. She stood while brushing her teeth and marched in place. She did heel raises while waiting for the kettle to boil. She did 3 squats every time she turned on the TV. No equipment, no pressure, just reminders that her body still belonged to her, not to the chair. And the results? In 2 weeks, her legs felt lighter, her posture improved, she felt safer on her feet and more confident in her step. You don't need to fear aging, but you do need to move with it, not sit still and wait for strength to fade. Let's make one thing clear: stillness is easy, movement is freedom. So here's your gentle challenge today. Before the next hour passes, just stand. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, remind your body, I still need you, I still trust you. And if this message spoke to you, type the word RISE in the comments as a promise to yourself to get up more often, not just for exercise, but for your future independence. Now, in the next part, we'll explore a habit that seems even smaller, but may affect your health even more than movement itself. It's something you do every day, without thinking, something that affects your bones, your brain, even your mood. We're talking about sunlight. See you in Part 5. Part 5, Sunlight, the Forgotten Medicine. Some gifts in life are so simple, we stop noticing them, and sunlight is one of them. Barbara had been doing better. She was moving more, sitting less, and speaking to herself with kindness, but something still felt off. Some mornings, her joints were stiff, her mood was low, and even after a good night's sleep, her body didn't feel fully awake. She almost brushed it off as just a bad week. But when she mentioned it to her doctor, he asked a simple question: how much time do you spend outside? Lisa paused. Then she realized almost every part of her day happened indoors. She exercised at home, ate near the window, watched TV in the living room, but direct sunlight, skin to sun, almost none. That one question opened her eyes and reminded us of something we often forget. Sunlight is not just light, it's nourishment. When you sit in natural sunlight, even just 10 to 15 minutes a day, your body begins producing vitamin D, a nutrient essential for strong bones, flexible joints, clearer mood, better sleep, and yes, better balance and movement. What surprised Barbara most was this: as we age, our bodies produce less vitamin D, even if we're outside. That means if we stay indoors or sit behind a window all day, we may be slowly draining our strength without even realizing it. So what did she do? She made a simple commitment: 10 minutes of real sunlight each morning. No pressure, no perfect routine. Sometimes she just sat on the porch with her tea. Other days, she took a slow walk to the mailbox and back. And within a week, she noticed the difference. Her joints felt less stiff, her afternoon fatigue faded, her sleep became deeper, and most surprising of all, her mood lifted like clouds clearing after a long storm. We've learned this over and over again. Sunlight is not just for your skin, it's for your spirit. So today, we invite you to try what Barbara did. Step outside in the morning, even for 5 minutes. Let the sunlight touch your arms, your face, your back, and as you sit or walk, say quietly, "This light is for me. I receive it. I welcome it." And if this reminder feels like something you needed to hear, type the word light in the comments. Not just for us to see, but for you to remember. You are not made to live in shadow. Now, sunlight helped Barbara feel more awake, but something else was still holding her back. She was getting stronger, yes, but her legs still felt wobbly on certain days. Getting out of a chair too quickly still made her hesitate. That's when she realized she had been moving around, but not moving into strength. She needed something simple, specific, and safe to bring power back to her legs. Let's talk about that next, in Part 6, the simple habit that keeps you on your feet. Part 6, the simple habit that keeps you on your feet. Lisa was doing better. She was moving more, sitting less, getting sunlight in the mornings, and her days felt lighter. But one morning, while bending down to tie her shoes, she felt a familiar ache in her knees. It was small, but clear, and she knew exactly what it meant. Her legs were getting weaker. Even though she was walking more, even though she was stretching, something was still missing. And if she ignored it, she knew what came next. Difficulty standing up, unsteady balance, that quiet fear of falling. Again, she had seen it in friends. One moment they were fine, the next, a fall, a fracture, and suddenly everything changed. That wasn't going to be her. So Lisa made a new promise to herself. If my legs carry me through life, then I will take care of them like they matter. Because they do. You see, after age 60, our leg muscles, especially the thighs and calves, begin to shrink. It's called sarcopenia, and it happens faster when we sit too much, and even faster if we don't actively use those muscles. But here's the good news. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy gear. You just need the will to begin. So Lisa started with 3 simple habits. Chair squats. Sit in a sturdy chair. Then stand up without using your hands and sit back down. Do this 5 to 10 times. It wakes up your thighs, hips, and balance. Leg lifts. While sitting, straighten one leg out. Hold for 5 seconds, then lower. Switch sides. This strengthens your quads, key muscles for walking safely. Heel raises. Hold onto a counter or chair. Rise onto your toes, hold, then slowly lower. This strengthens your calves and improves circulation. She didn't do them all at once. She didn't need to. She picked one each morning, just a few minutes, and she whispered to herself, "Every step I take tomorrow begins with what I do today." In just a few weeks, Lisa noticed, getting out of a chair became easier. Stairs no longer scared her. Her feet felt more stable. And best of all, she trusted her legs again. You see, balance isn't just about not falling. It's about walking into the world without fear. So today, we invite you to pick one of Lisa's habits. Do it gently. Do it your way. But do it for your future freedom. And if this feels like the reminder you needed, type the word steady in the comments. Not because you're there yet, but because you're choosing to begin. Now, there was still one thing Lisa hadn't explored. One practice she had always thought wasn't for people like her. Too slow, too strange, too unfamiliar. But once she tried it, it became the final piece that brought everything together. Movement, balance, breath, and peace. We're talking about something ancient, gentle, restorative. In Part 7, we'll introduce you to the surprising power of Tai Chi and yoga, and how they might just become your favorite part of the day. Part 7, Tai Chi and yoga, the practice that transforms body and mind. Lisa was doing so much better. Her legs were getting stronger, her mornings were brighter, her balance had returned, little by little. But something still felt tight. Some mornings, she woke up and her body didn't want to move. Even after stretching or walking, there was this deep stiffness, like her muscles were holding on to something she couldn't quite shake. And it wasn't just physical. There were thoughts too, quiet worries. What if all this progress disappears? What if one bad fall undoes it all? What if I lose control again? That's when she realized her body was getting stronger, but her mind still needed something more, something gentle, something calming, something that could help her feel safe in her own body again. A friend suggested something she'd never tried, Tai Chi and yoga. At first, Lisa laughed. Me? Do yoga? I'm not flexible. Isn't that for young people? I don't want to do anything too strange or complicated, but curiosity has a quiet way of opening doors. So she tried, just 5 minutes. In her living room, no fancy mat, no instructor. She followed a short video for seniors. Slow breathing, gentle movements, no pressure to perform, just an invitation to feel. And something happened. For the first time in years, Lisa felt like her mind and body were on the same team. Her breathing slowed. The tightness in her chest softened. Her body began to flow, not just move. You see, practices like Tai Chi and yoga aren't just about flexibility. They're about awareness, balance, stability, grace. Science backs it up. Studies show that slow, mindful movement can help reduce blood pressure, anxiety, risk of falling, muscle stiffness, even inflammation in joints. But beyond the science, there's something deeply human about it. Moving not to achieve, but to return home to yourself. So Lisa made it part of her week. Twice a week, she gave herself the gift of quiet movement, and every time it felt like her spirit unclenched just a little more. No one was watching, no one was judging. It was just her and her breath finding a quiet rhythm again. We invite you to try it too. You don't have to be flexible. You don't need to know what you're doing. You just need to show up. Take a deep breath and begin with something as simple as lifting your arms slowly overhead, rolling your shoulders, stepping side to side, gently. And if this speaks to something in you, type the word flow in the comments. As a soft promise to yourself that your body is not your enemy, it's your oldest friend. Now, Lisa felt calmer, stronger, clearer. But there was one last challenge left to face, something that affected every part of her daily life, but rarely got talked about. We'll explore it next, in Part 8, Balance. The hidden key to staying independent for life. Part 8, Balance. The hidden key to staying independent for life. Lisa had come a long way. She was moving with more confidence. Her mornings were lighter. Her strength was returning. But there was still one thing that made her hesitate. It wasn't pain. It wasn't fatigue. It was uncertainty. Whenever she stepped off a curb, reached for something on the top shelf, turned too quickly while walking, she felt it. That sudden shift, that wobble, that moment where everything felt unsure. And that's when she realized, I've been working on strength, on movement, on peace, but I haven't worked on balance. For many people, balance seems invisible until it's gone. We don't think about it when we're steady, but once we start hesitating, once we catch ourselves reaching for walls or furniture, that's when we begin to feel the quiet fear. Lisa had seen it in friends. One moment, they were fine. The next, a fall, a hospital stay, and life changed forever. Not because they were weak, but because they stopped training their balance. And here's something we've learned. Balance isn't just something you're born with. It's something you can rebuild. Lisa started small. She began standing on one foot while brushing her teeth. At first, she could barely manage a few seconds, but day by day, her ankles steadied, her core woke up, her body remembered. Then she tried heel-to-toe walking, a slow, focused walk in a straight line, like walking on a tightrope. It felt silly at first, but within a week, her steps felt more sure. She didn't hug the walls as much. She turned corners with grace, and most importantly, she began to trust herself again. You see, strength gives you power, flexibility gives you ease, but balance gives you freedom. And the best part, you don't need fancy equipment to improve it. Try this right now. Stand behind a sturdy chair. Hold the back lightly. Lift one foot slightly off the ground. Hold for 5 seconds, then switch. Do it every day, just 3 to 4 times. That's how Lisa began. Not perfectly, not without wobbles, but with patience and with hope. So today we ask you, what would your life look like if you trusted your body again? What would it feel like to reach high, step confidently, turn quickly, without fear? It starts with one moment, one decision, one steady breath. And if this part of the journey speaks to you, type the word balance in the comments. As a quiet promise to your future self, I will not wait for a fall to start standing tall. Now, Lisa had restored her strength, her calm, her balance. But there's one final piece left in this journey, and it might be the most surprising of all. Because it's not about your body. It's not about exercise. It's about your inner voice. In Part 9, we'll explore how the way you speak to yourself can either speed up aging or unlock vitality you didn't know you still had. Part 9, the voice inside, how self-talk affects your health, energy, and hope. Lisa had come so far. She moved more freely. She sat less. She slept deeper. She trusted her legs. She felt her breath. She even smiled more often. But one afternoon, as she passed by a mirror, she caught herself whispering, "You look tired today. You're aging, whether you like it or not." And just like that, her chest tightened. Her energy dropped. Her posture folded inward, just a little. It wasn't her body that caused the shift. It was her inner voice. That's when she realized, I've been doing everything right on the outside, but I still haven't changed how I speak to myself. We all carry an inner narrator, and after 60, that voice becomes even louder. Sometimes it's kind, but often it's filled with years of quiet criticism. You're slowing down. You're not like you used to be. You're a burden now. No one really needs you. And over time, those words become beliefs. And those beliefs, They shape the way we move, eat, sleep, love, and live. But here's the truth. Your body follows the story your mind repeats. If you say, "I'm weak," your muscles tighten. If you say, "I'm done," your breath shortens. But if you say, "I'm still becoming," your whole system listens. Lisa began to notice how often she judged herself, how often she spoke to herself in a tone she'd never use with a friend. So she tried something new. Each morning, before checking her phone, before brushing her teeth, she stood quietly, placed a hand on her heart, and whispered, "I'm still here. I'm still learning. I'm still needed." At first, it felt awkward, but over time, her voice softened, her body responded. She smiled more in the mirror. She walked taller. She forgave herself more quickly, and the science supports it. Studies show that positive self-talk can lower blood pressure, improve sleep quality, boost immune function, and even increase life expectancy. But more than that, it gives back your power. Because when your voice becomes your ally, aging no longer feels like fading. It feels like unfolding. So today, we invite you to listen, truly listen, to the words you say when no one else is around. Are they building you up or quietly breaking you down? Try this instead. Each day, speak to yourself like you would a beloved friend, with warmth, with patience, with gentleness. And if this journey meant something to you, if even one part of Lisa's story reminded you of your own, then type the word becoming in the comments. Not because it's finished, but because you are still becoming. Aging isn't the end. It's the beginning of a wiser, more meaningful chapter. This is timeless wisdom, where every minute you give to your health today becomes a gift for your tomorrow. You are not too late to come home to yourself. Age doesn't take your strength away, but sitting too long, speaking harshly to yourself, forgetting to breathe deeply in the morning sun, those quiet choices slowly do. But here's the beauty. Every sip of water, every gentle stretch, every kind word you say to yourself is a way back. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up, a little each day. That's all. Lisa's journey is your journey and ours. Not to prove anything, not to impress, but to feel fully alive again. Because aging is not the end, it's the beginning of a slower, softer, wiser chapter. This is timeless wisdom, where every minute you give to your health today becomes a gift for your tomorrow. You didn't just watch this, you returned to something, dear friend. If you're still here, still watching, still breathing with us, then this wasn't just a video. This was a walk back to yourself. You didn't just learn 9 ways to stay healthy. You remembered something deeper, that your body still listens to you, that your voice still matters, that your future isn't written yet, it's still unfolding. Over the last 30 minutes, you weren't just watching Lisa, you were walking beside her, step by step, breath by breath, quiet thought by quiet thought. You remembered that strength isn't always loud, that healing doesn't always look like success, that growing older doesn't mean disappearing, it means becoming. So today, we invite you to make one small promise to your body, your breath, your balance, your inner voice. And if this journey touched your heart, please leave us a comment. What are you still becoming? We read every word, and we walk with you. And if you'd like to keep walking this path with us, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom. Not just for more videos, but for a space where aging is honored, stories are shared, and your presence is never forgotten. Because this isn't goodbye. It's a beginning,